January 14th, 1995. Bally's Park Place, Atlantic City. The Keno board explodes. $100,000 winner. From the 8 numbers, all 8 hit. The odds are 230,115 to 1. Reed McNeil stands frozen. No smile, no celebration, just pure terror. Because upstairs in room 743, his partner is watching security cameras multiply on every monitor. Ronald Dale Harris, the man Nevada pays $73,000 a year to hunt casino cheaters, has just become the biggest cheater in Vegas history. Here's what nobody in that casino knows. This wasn't luck. Harris knew those 8 numbers 3 hours before the machine randomly selected them. He'd hacked the unhackable. But in exactly 6 minutes, state troopers will kick down his door. The hunter is about to become the hunted. How does a casino's own watchdog steal $100,000 right under their nose? And why did the one person trusted to stop cheaters decide to become one? Las Vegas, 1991. While tourists pump quarters into slot machines, Ronald Dale Harris walks the same casino floor with a different purpose. He doesn't gamble, he guards. As a software engineer for the Nevada Gaming Control Board, Harris holds the one job nobody talks about. He's the guy who makes sure you can't cheat. Every morning, he opens up million-dollar machines like a surgeon, checking their microchips for tampering. He knows their code, their patterns, and their secrets. And that's when he notices it. Inside every slot machine there is something, and it's programmable, the EPROM chips. Harris stares at one under fluorescent lab lights, and a dangerous equation forms in his mind. These chips trust me. The casinos trust me. What if I become the virus? Here's what made Harris different from every casino thief before him. He didn't need to break in. He had the keys. Late one night in his lab, Harris burns new code into a chip. Not much, just 17 lines hidden among thousands. A secret handshake. Feed the machine coins in a specific sequence. 3, then 2, then 2, then 1, then 3, then 5, and boom, instant jackpot. To any security camera, it looks like pure luck, but it's not luck when you hack the rules. The first test happens at a forgotten downtown casino. Harris's associate sits down at the modified slot. He feeds the coins exactly as instructed. 3, 2, 2, 1, 3, 5. Clang, 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 clang. Quarters explode from the machine, $3,000 in minutes. The Confederate scoops them up and vanishes before anyone notices. It worked. Harris had just invented the world's first undetectable slot machine virus. For 2 years, Harris and his crew fan across Vegas like ghosts. $5,000 at the Crystal Bay Club, $9,000 at Fitzgerald's Reno, and many more. They deliberately avoid the mega jackpots, those Ferraris and million-dollar prizes that make the evening news. Smart thieves steal quietly. By 1994, they've taken over $100,000. The casinos never suspect. How could they? Their own watchdog was robbing them blind. But Harris makes a mistake every genius criminal makes. He gets bored. Standing on the Bellagio floor one evening, watching tourists throw money at Keno, the one game every expert says is mathematically unbeatable, Harris has a thought that will either make him rich or destroy him. What if random isn't actually random? And more importantly, What if he could prove it? Here's something casinos don't want you to know. Computer randomness is fake. Every random number a machine generates comes from an algorithm, a mathematical recipe. And Harris? He literally inspected these recipes for a living. It would be like asking a chef to spot poison in a meal he cooked himself. Late 1994. In a garage workshop off the Vegas Strip, Harris begins building something that shouldn't exist. He borrows spare Keno chips from the testing lab, identical twins to the ones inside real casino machines. Under a desk lamp, surrounded by solderings and circuit boards, he constructs his masterpiece, a cloned Keno brain that thinks exactly like the casinos. The theory was elegant. Feed the clone past winning numbers, let it run forward in time, and it tells you the future. A crystal ball made of silicon and math. But Harris faces a problem. Testing this in Vegas would be suicide. Too many colleagues, too many eyes. He needs distance. He needs Atlantic City. Enter Reed McNeil. Harris's high school buddy who'd been running the slot scams for 2 years without a single close call. Harris makes him an offer. Help me hit the biggest Keno jackpot in history, and we split everything. Reed doesn't hesitate. January 1995. The two board a flight to New Jersey, carrying what looks like computer equipment for a convention. It's not. Inside Harris's suitcase sits $30,000 worth of electronics designed to do one thing: predict the impossible. They check into Bally's Park Place, room 743. Harris immediately transforms it into a command center. Laptop wired to custom chips, printouts of probability tables, notebooks filled with code that would make the casino's blood run cold. For 3 days, Reed plays Keno downstairs, while Harris calibrates upstairs. Every losing ticket is data. Every winning number gets fed into the machine. The pattern sharpens, and the future clarifies. January 14th, evening. Harris's pulse quickens. The machine is locked in. The next draw, he can see it. 8 specific numbers floating in the electronic ether, waiting to be born. "Read," he says, handing him a paper with 8 digits. "Bet everything on these." Reed buys 10 tickets, same 8 numbers on each. $100 total, not suspicious, but enough to trigger the maximum payout if they hit. They wait in the Keno lounge. The machine begins its draw. First number, a match. The second one too. And the third one, another match. By the 6th match, people are gathering. By the 7th, Reed's hands are shaking. The 8th number appears. $100,000. The largest Keno win in Bally's history. Reed McNeil has just achieved the impossible. Except it wasn't impossible at all. It was inevitable. Harris had hacked causality itself. But here's what Harris didn't calculate. What happens when you win an unwinnable game? And why was Reed McNeil suddenly surrounded by people who weren't celebrating? 3 security guards materialize around Reed before he can even reach for the ticket. "Congratulations, sir. We'll need to verify a few things." Verify the word hangs in the air like a threat. The casino manager is already on the phone with New Jersey gaming investigators. Here's what Reed doesn't know. Bally's computers are screaming. Their probability algorithms are having a meltdown. This win isn't just unlikely, it's virtually impossible. "Can I see some ID?" the manager asks. Reed pats his pockets. Empty. He mumbles about a lost wallet. Strike one. We can write you a check. Cash, Reed interrupts. I need cash. Every security guard in the room just shifted stance. Nobody refuses a check for $100,000. Nobody clean. Within 20 minutes, state police are in the building. They escort Reed upstairs. Just a few questions. But Reed knows better. Harris is in that room. The equipment is in that room. Everything that could destroy them is in that room. Room 743. Reed's keycard trembles in the lock. Inside, Ronald Harris hears voices in the hallway. In 3 seconds, he shoves EPROM chips under the bed, rips cables from the laptop, and tries to hide 2 years of evidence. But it's too late. The door opens. 5 state troopers walk into what looks like NASA Mission Control had a baby with Radio Shack. Computers, chips, wires, printouts of Keno draws, handwritten probability calculations. Hobby electronics, Harris says, forcing a laugh. But nobody laughs back. What's your name, sir? Ronald Harris. I work for the Nevada Gaming Control Board. The temperature drops 10 degrees. Every officer in the room just connected the dots. A Vegas gaming regulator in Atlantic City with a computer rig at the scene of a statistical impossibility. They separate Harris and McNeil. Different rooms, different questions, same growing realization. They've stumbled onto something huge. But Harris sees an opening. The troopers take Reed downstairs for formal questioning. For 60 seconds, Harris is alone. He grabs the most damaging evidence, the master chips, his code notebooks, and bolts. Down the stairwell, through the lobby, into a taxi. To the airport. Now. By the time investigators return to 743, Harris is already at 30,000 feet, racing back to Vegas. He's left behind enough evidence to convict him 10 times over, but he doesn't care. He needs to get home. Lawyer up. Maybe delete some files. Maybe disappear entirely. But Harris has made a crucial error. He thinks he's running towards safety. He's actually running straight into a trap. Meanwhile, Reed McNeil sits in an interrogation room, sweating through his shirt. The investigators show him photos of the equipment from 743. They know everything. And Reed? Reed's about to make a deal. But the real question nobody's asking yet: how many other machines did Harris compromise? And are they still out there, waiting for the right sequence of coins? McCarran Airport, Las Vegas, January 16, 1995. Ronald Harris steps off the jetway thinking he's made it home. 3 officers step forward. The handcuffs click before he can speak. Here's what Harris didn't know. Reed McNeil broke after 4 hours. Told them everything. The slots, the Keno, the codes, the years of theft. By the time Harris's plane took off from Atlantic City, every casino in Vegas knew his name. The scandal detonates across the gambling world. A Nevada Gaming Control Board employee, someone casinos paid to protect them, had been robbing them for 3 years. It's not just theft, it's betrayal at the highest level. Investigators piece together the real scope. Those random small jackpots across Vegas? All Harris. The Crystal Bay hit? Harris. Fitzgerald's? Harris. Dozens of machines, hundreds of thousands stolen, all by the man checking for cheaters. The evidence is overwhelming. The Atlantic City equipment, Reed's testimony, Suspicious jackpot patterns dating back to 1992. Code fragments matching Harris's handwriting. Harris faces a choice: fight and risk 20 years, or confess and hope for mercy. He takes the deal. In court, Harris admits everything: how he perverted his position, how he wrote viral code for slots, how he reverse-engineered Keno's randomness. The judge, almost impressed by the audacity, shows no mercy. 7 years in prison. But that's not the worst part. Harris's name gets added to Nevada's Black Book, the legendary list of people banned from every casino in the state, forever. The man who dedicated his life to Vegas gambling can never again set foot on a casino floor. Harris serves 2 years, good behavior, and walks out in 1997, free but destroyed. The casinos, meanwhile, undergo a revolution. Nevada rewrites its entire oversight system. No single person ever again gets Harris's level of access. Atlantic City replaces every Keno system statewide. Millions spent because one man proved the impossible. The house doesn't always win. You want to know the irony? Harris is now a legend, the genius who beat Vegas at its own game. TV specials, documentary features, security conferences where he's studied like a virus under a microscope. But here's what those documentaries don't tell you. 3 months after Harris's arrest, a slots player in Laughlin hit a $50,000 jackpot using a very specific coin sequence. The casino paid out, but nobody could explain the mathematical anomaly. Harris may have been caught, but his code? Some say it's still out there, dormant, waiting for someone who knows the secret handshake. The house always wins, except when the house is playing against itself.